So if you're an agency owner, and I hate to say it, but if you're still in delivery or sales or onboarding or fulfillment or anything like this, you don't have a business, you have a job. And look, I was in the exact same spot where I was doing everything in the business myself. And in this video, I want to walk you through the tactical steps that you can take to remove yourself from essentially like a glorified freelancer, doing everything yourself in the business, to get into the point where you have a team, systems, automation, content, AI, that can do all of this on your behalf. And your main focus is just managing the overall system to generate cash flow. So if you've ever been in a situation where it's like, let's say you have a couple clients coming on, maybe you're at 3K, 5K, 10K, 15K, but then you keep signing more clients, but then you realize the more clients you sign, the more work you have to do. And then it's like, okay, you can only work this much. It keeps growing, and you hit a cap, you hit a ceiling. And then at this point, whatever happens is either the clients get worse results, either you self-sabotage and it just dips, you lose the clients. You do it again, you build it up, you're like, okay, I need to focus now, monk mode, boom, ceiling, gone. And this keeps happening because you can never get past the ceiling. And what the ceiling is caused by is by not having systems, by not having business infrastructure, a process to actually deliver results, run the business without your involvement. So the only way to get out of this is using a decentralized delivery model. And essentially what this looks like is delinking you as the key point to getting things done. So for context on this, I actually scaled my first agency to around 50 to 70K per month. And at this point, I was completely out of everything, right? I wasn't generating bookings, I wasn't doing sales, I wasn't doing delivery, I wasn't doing onboarding. Everything was taken care of. It would just run. And you may ask, like, why cap out at 50 to 70? This is the point in which we saw the returns were the highest with the absolute minimal complexity costs. We got recommended by people doing a nice 7, 8 figures at the time to be like, look, this is near the cap of this model, this is what I genuinely believe. And then anything beyond this, a more leveraged model, like something like consulting coaching is a better route. But this state, before we adjusted into the coaching model, is, I genuinely believe, the optimal state. Because you could be maintaining 80+% margins, signing clients, getting great results, managing the machine, and doing nothing. Like, it can just run without you. Now, it's not to say I wanted to do nothing. Like, you can tell, like, I started the other business, but it gives you the option. It gives you the choice for if you want to work or if you don't want to work. Most people don't have a problem with working, but it's like if they feel forced to do it, it's like, man, like, I don't really want to do that. But if they can choose, like, no, I want to work on it, but the things that I enjoy, that's what I think most people want. So the first point, and this is honestly the truth, is that if your agency isn't growing, it's not because of the economy, it's not because of AI, it's not because of your niche, it's because you as the founder, you're bottlenecking the growth of the business. So let's say one day you got sick, right? And you couldn't work for 7 days. What would happen to the agency? Would messages still be sent? Would sales calls still be taken? Will clients still be getting results? Will clients still be communicated with? Probably not. And if it's the case, it's like you are one little cold away from your agency just plummeting. Like, when you think about it that way, it's kind of like, man, that's pretty fallible, So the only way to scale, and you don't even have to take my word for it. It's like, just look at all the billion-dollar companies. It's like, is it one guy on his laptop in Bali just running the billion-dollar company? No, it's like 1,000 people. So if one person's sick, it's like, okay, well, 1,000 other guys will just do it. So the fundamental lesson extrapolated for the billion-dollar companies, don't even listen to me, is that fundamentally you just need to remove yourself as the bottleneck and have systems in place so that the business can run independently. So now I want to walk you through the 3 tangible steps you can take from this video to remove yourself from the process. So what this is going to look like is, step 1 is, once you have clients on and once you're delivering great results, all I want you to do is just take out a blank piece of paper, or most likely like a Google Doc or a Notion page or something like that, and just note down all the steps that you took sequentially to get your clients' results. Okay? So what that would look like is onboard them into Slack, send the contract, set up the ads manager, write the copy, launch the campaigns. Every single detail I want you to note down in sequential order. And this is going to serve as essentially like the list that we're going to attack to get you out of everything. So the more you note down, and it's honestly a fantastic feeling, the more you note down, just understand that everything that you're noting are the things you're going to get out of eventually. The things that are going to run without you needing to do it. So step one is noting all these things down. And for each one of these tasks, let's say onboarding a client, I want you to note down and record yourself with a tool like Loom exactly how you do it. Okay? So you just record yourself doing the thing that you already are going to do. You can literally just turn on the screen recording tool and then it just does it. Like it doesn't get simpler than that. Then what I want you to do is every single one of these things on the list, it should have a video attached. It should have a workflow attached. And because of that, this becomes your documentation, your business documentation, your infrastructure. This is what people refer to it as. Some people call it like a playbook. It's like, like McDonald's is a franchise. So it's not like one guy, it's not like Mr. McDonald is just like setting up all these things. It's like they documented it all, they made it super streamlined, and every franchise follows it. You want to have the same in your business. Now, step two is delegation. And usually when people refer to delegation, it's essentially the idea of giving a task that you would usually do to another person. Now, when I refer to delegation, I'm also referring to automation. I'm also referring to things like AI. I'm also referring to things like content. Right? When delegating the task to AI, delegating the task to content. So an example of this is when I was running the Done For You agency, right? This was at a point where we were charging around 4K a month for our services, around 24K upfront for it. And again, I was removed from it. And what we found is that the onboarding, we used to do it all manually. We'd get onto a call with the client, we'd walk them through this slideshow that we've done 34 times, and it was like, just saying the same thing again. And one day I was like, what if I just recorded this once and then sent it to the people and they could just watch it? So I tried that, I did it, I sent it, and they were like, yeah, this was great. They watched it in the first 30 minutes of signing up, as opposed to having to schedule like 4 days out. And at this point I was like, look, this onboarding, it could be fully automated, genuinely. So what would happen was we got to the point of doing 2 weeks of manual work, manual communication, manual sharing, to 2 hours of, honestly, like 20 minutes of videos and 2 hours of work for them. Honestly, not even that. But to just fill out all the key things, they would just watch key videos, setting their expectations. This is how long it's going to take. This is who we're going to work with. This is how it's going to work. Like, this is what to do if you want help. All mapped out in content. So straightforward. They just watch it in their own time. So this is what I mean by you can do the same for yourself, where you delegate it to other things. So the action item for step 2 is everything on this list. Either you're going to give it off to content if you're communicating something, you give it off to AI who can just do things on your behalf, or you give it off to a person. And that's the final step. So just to recap, you've noted down everything, explained how to do it. Now you just give it off to a person and they are going to do it. Now, step 3 is the order of operations. At this point, I would hope you fundamentally understand that you need to list everything you're doing to get results, or everything in the business, to be honest. Whether that's results, but also getting bookings, getting sales, everything. You can list all that out, record videos on how you do it. It's all there, it's all clear, it's all documented. Then we start delegating off. So to AI, to content, to people. But now the question is, okay, firstly, in what order, let's say I give it off to content, give it to AI. For the people though, in what order do I hire? And where do I even get these people? And who do I even get? So there's a very simple framework that we follow. We got this from, reading books by billionaires, so take their word for it, not mine. But the usual sequence of getting out of the day-to-day is you usually want to start with admin. Now, for example, this would be, to make it contextual for agencies, getting a VA or an operational assistant, and they're going to do the menial tasks. Let's say onboarding a client, setting up the ad manager, anything basic, anything straightforward that people without skills could just follow. That's step 1, admin. The next thing to focus on is delivery. So when this is happening, you're signing clients, you're making money, you're generating cash flow, and then it's like you also have to deliver. So that's the next hire you make, whether that's a media buyer, whether that's a cold email specialist, whether that's a marketing specialist, copywriter, whatever it is, that's the next thing you get out of. Next, once you've gotten out of that, you're going to get out of marketing. Now, what marketing looks like is getting bookings for the agency. So what this could be is you hire a commission-based setup. Right? If you want to know more about that, I made a full breakdown on how we grow agencies in general. That's included in there. Just check the first link in the description. But you could get a commission-based setup who sends messages on your behalf and you only pay them for qualified book calls. It's so straightforward. And then you can step out of that too. Then at this point, all you're doing is content, if you want, sales, and then leadership. The next thing, once your calendar's maxed out, once you can't take any more calls, that's when you get a sales rep. We've got 2 reps on the team right now. They take the calls. I don't have to jump on calls. Sometimes I do because I just like them, but it can just run completely without you. And this is like the point of like nirvana, where it's like bookings are coming in, sales are being made, clients are being onboarded, clients are being delivered for without your involvement. And the final ring is leadership. And this is what, for example, someone who would manage the sales team, manage the setting team, manage the delivery team. This is the final step. But honestly, if you could even just get out of the first 4 stages, that's game changing, genuinely. So like I was mentioning earlier, if you do want the full breakdown on how we grow AUS and the fastest way that we've seen it to work based on working with near 200 at this point, just check the first link in the description and I'll see you in the next video.